और वैल्यू चेन्स का निर्माण करने में भी मदद मिलेगी। साथियों, रक्षा और सुरक्षा क्षेत्रों में बढ़ता सहयोग हमारे गहरे आपसी विश्वास का प्रतीक है। क्लासिफाइड इंफॉर्मेशन के एक्सचेंज पर बनी सहमति इस दिशा में एक नया कदम है। आज संपन्न की गई म्यूचुअल लीगल असिस्टेंस ट्रीटी से आतंकवाद और अलगाववादी तत्वों से निपटने में हमारे साझा प्रयास सशक्त होंगे। ग्रीन एंड सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ के साझा कमिटमेंट पर दोनों देश निरंतर कार्यरत है। आज हमारी ग्रीन और सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट पार्टनरशिप को आगे बढ़ाते हुए हमने ग्रीन अर्बन मोबिलिटी पार्टनरशिप के दूसरे चरण पर सहमति बनाई है और ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन रोड मैप भी लॉन्च किया है। साथियों, यूक्रेन और पश्चिम एशिया में चल रहे संघर्ष हम दोनों के लिए चिंता के विषय है। भारत का हमेशा मत रहा है कि युद्ध से समस्याओं का समाधान नहीं हो सकता और शांति की बहाली के लिए भारत हर संभव योगदान देने के लिए तैयार है। इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्र में अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कानूनों के तहत फ्रीडम ऑफ नेविगेशन और रूल ऑफ लॉ सुनिश्चित करने पर हम दोनों एकमत हैं। हम इस बात पर भी सहमत हैं कि 20वीं सदी में बनाए गए ग्लोबल फोरम 21वीं सदी की चुनौतियों से निपटने में सक्षम नहीं है। यूएन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल सहित अन्य मल्टीलेटरल इंस्टीट्यूशंस में रिफॉर्म्स की आवश्यकता है। भारत और जर्मनी इस दिशा में सक्रिय रूप से सहयोग करते रहेंगे। साथियों, पीपल टू पीपल कनेक्ट हमारे संबंधों का अहम स्तंभ है। आज हमने स्किलिंग और वोकेशनल एजुकेशन में मिलकर काम करने का निर्णय लिया है। आईआईटी चेन्नई और ड्रेसडेन विश्वविद्यालय में भी समझौता संपन्न हुआ है, जिससे हमारे स्टूडेंट्स ड्यूअल डिग्री का लाभ उठा पाएंगे। भारत की युवा शक्ति जर्मनी की प्रगति और समृद्धि में योगदान दे रही है। हम जर्मनी द्वारा भारत के लिए जारी की गई स्किल्ड लेबर स्ट्रेटेजी का स्वागत करते हैं। मुझे विश्वास है कि हमारे युवा टैलेंट पूल को जर्मनी के विकास में योगदान देने के बेहतर अवसर मिलेंगे। भारतीय टैलेंट की कैपेसिटी और कैपेबिलिटी में इस विश्वास के लिए मैं चांसलर शोल्ज का अभिनंदन करता हूं। एक्सेलेंसी, आपकी भारत यात्रा से हमारी पार्टनरशिप को नई गति, ऊर्जा और उत्साह मिला है। मैं कह सकता हूं कि हमारी पार्टनरशिप में क्लैरिटी है और इसका भविष्य उज्जवल है। जर्मन भाषा में कहूं तो आलेस क्लार, आलेस गुड। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। दाके शोन।
Thank you, sir. May I now request His Excellency, Mr. Olaf Scholz, Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany, to give his remarks to the media.
Sehr geehrter Herr Premierminister, lieber Narendra Modi, vielen Dank für den freundlichen Empfang hier in Neu-Delhi. Es ist längst zu einer guten Tradition geworden, dass wir beide uns mindestens einmal im Jahr treffen.
We have a bilateral meeting at least once every year. I visited India roughly 12 months ago on the occasion of the summit of the successful G20 presidency of your country, and I have very fond memories of that event. The same is true for my visit in India in March 2023. And the year before that, you visited Germany twice. First as a guest at the G7 summit in Elmau, and later that year you came to Germany to attend the intergovernmental consultations in Berlin. That is a very impressive illustration of how close relations are between both our countries. 25 years ago, we created the strategic partnership between Germany and India. Our cooperation has become ever more trusting, solid and substantial. Growing together with innovation, mobility and sustainability. That is the motto of the 7th Indo-German intergovernmental consultations that have taken place today. It is a fitting motto because it illustrates the extent to which India and Germany both profit in equal measure, benefit in equal measure from this good and trusting cooperation. This is especially true for the field of economic ties. Germany has become India's most important trading partner in the European Union, and I'm determined to further strengthen and build on this link and cooperation. I have with me, as members of my delegation, a high-level business delegation that has seized the opportunity to engage bilaterally with India's industry and business. And parallel to our consultations, an Asia-Pacific conference of German business is taking place here in Delhi. This offers an excellent stage on which the German business community can present itself as a reliable partner for the future of your country and our country. We have a clear message for the entrepreneurs in both our countries. There is enormous potential to further build and expand trade and investment between both our economies. And as Chancellor, I strongly favor an ambitious FTA, free trade agreement between India and the European Union. I believe that both sides would benefit, and it should be our ambition to make headway in that regard. We've also made good progress with regard to another topic. Almost 250,000 of Indians live in Germany these days. That goes to show how successful our migration mobility agreement has become. The men and women from India live in Germany, very often in sectors in where they are most urgently needed, in the field of medicine, in the care sector and in IT, and it is our objective to attract even more skilled labor from your country. We have developed a specific country-specific agenda for India to that purpose that we have presented to our colleagues in New Delhi. It is, by the way, the first such country-specific agenda in the framework of our strategy on skilled labor. Then that goes to show how much we value India as a partner in that respect. I'm pleased to see that your government has responded positively to our interest in the mobility of labor, and especially skilled labor. And we hope that you will seize, and the Indians will seize this opportunity. Our countries also want to cooperate more closely in the fields of environmentally friendly and sustainable technologies, like digitization, software and semiconductor production. We are therefore strengthening our innovation technology partnership. We also want to cooperate more closely in the sector of energy, to begin with in the field of wind and solar energy, but also in the field of hydrogen. India is set to become a global hub for green hydrogen. The federal government and German companies would like to be part of this success story. We touched on bilateral issues, but of course we also took the time to speak about geopolitical issues today. Let me start by saying that, especially in times like these, it is of the utmost importance that India is an anchor of stability in South Asia. The international rules-based order, which has come under massive pressure as a consequence of Russia's attack on Ukraine. Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine affects Germany and India in many ways. No one can close his or her eyes to the conflict and the impact it has on us. Therefore, I approve that India supports a lasting and just peace, and I am pleased about your readiness to make use of the reliable relations that you have developed to all parties to contribute to a political solution of the conflict. This war, which has been raging for so long and has caused so many deaths, has to end finally. Ukraine's integrity and sovereignty must be preserved, and this is what we are working for, what we aim to achieve. We also agree with regard to a second conflict. We have by all means to avoid a further escalation of the violence in the Middle East. We need to see a ceasefire, the release of the hostages, and a political process that leads to a two-state solution. At the beginning of my statement, I spoke at length about the good ties between India and Germany. We aim to further develop these ties also in geopolitical terms. Tomorrow, a German frigate and a combat support ship of the German Navy will arrive in Goa on a visit. Prior to this visit, the German units have engaged in a joint exercise with their Indian counterparts. I very much look forward to welcoming the Navy members tomorrow. In the Indo-Pacific, the Federal Armed Forces is also present and underlines that there too we stand up for respect for a rules-based international order. The freedom of maritime trade unions must be respected everywhere. Prime Minister, I would like to thank you for the excellent talks we've had today. I believe that the intergovernmental consultations in New Delhi were a great success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That concludes the press statement. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your
So there you have the two leaders at this point of time exchanging those greetings and particularly talking about the strategic ties that have only strengthened in the last several years. Now, this is the 7th inter-government consultations that have taken place today. This treaty that was signed between India and Germany in 2011 has now strengthened. This is the third visit of Chancellor Olaf to India in the last several years. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also visited Germany in the past. Mahima Kataria on the telecast with me. Mahima, give us details particularly about the 3-day visit. Yesterday, Chancellor Olaf arrived in Delhi. He has that bilateral meeting with him. And today, the 7th inter-government consultations address that was made by both the Prime Minister of India and Chancellor Olaf.
That both the we saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chancellor Olaf making the press statement wherein both the leaders discussed the strategic ties, but also what was important that both the leaders stressed on Russia and Ukraine war, and wherein Prime Minister Narendra Modi focused on dialogue and peace. But what exactly happened throughout the day, like you asked that about the 3-day visit that Chancellor Olaf is on, Prime Minister today met German Chancellor Olaf and discussed a wide range of issues focused on bolstering bilateral strategic ties, as we heard both the leaders. Prime Minister firstly welcomed Olaf for a one-on-one meeting at his official residence in the Lok Kalyan Marg. What was learned that both exchanged views on the areas such as defense, trade and clean energy. The clean energy that Prime Minister also focused on in his press statement. And like you correctly pointed out, Olaf arrived in Delhi late yesterday, that is Thursday, as part of his 3-day official visit to India. He was received by Union Minister of State for Home Affairs, Nityanand Rai, while addressing the 18th Asia Pacific Conference. Megha, it is also important to underline few of the pointers of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because he addressed the 18th Asia Pacific Conference, wherein Prime Minister stated that this year is the 25th year of India and Germany strategic partnership. Now, the coming 25 years are going to take this partnership to new heights. The confidence that Germany has expressed in India's skilled manpower is amazing. Also in the press statement just few minutes back, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also spoke about the youth and the skilled labor and the manpower that Germany has expressed confidence in. And also today, India is becoming the biggest center of diversification and de-risking. Today, India stands on a strong pillar of democracy, demography, demand and data. This is the right time to join India's growth.
Okay, all right. So those are statements. Thanks, Mahima, for giving us those details. On that note, I slip into a short break. Thanks for watching NewsX.
अगर आप बनना चाहते हैं एंकर या फिर आप में है जुनून एक तेज तर्रार न्यूज रिपोर्टर बनने का, तो आप ज्वाइन करें ITV और इंडिया न्यूज NewsX का मीडिया स्कूल। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का कोर्स आपको मौका देता है देश के दिग्गज एंकर्स के साथ काम करने का। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में आप बेहद नजदीकी से देख पाएंगे किस तरह से ITV नेटवर्क के दिग्गज पत्रकारों की टीम दिन रात खबरों पर काम करती है। इस कोर्स के दौरान आप सीखेंगे एंकरिंग की एक एक बारीकी उन एंकर्स के साथ जो देश को रखते हैं हर खबर से बाखबर। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का ये कोर्स आपके एंकरिंग स्किल्स को करेगा इतना सशक्त, मजबूत, जिससे आप बनेंगे पत्रकारिता की दुनिया का वो चमकता चेहरा जो दुनिया देखेगी और पसंद करेगी।
Organization called the Army Design Bureau, which functions out of Delhi. Most of you would be aware of it. And we have given 2024 as the year of technology absorption. We understand that technology is extremely critical now in the warfares that are happening all over the world. Technology has driven a certain amount of changes both in the way the wars are fought, also in the tactics, techniques and procedures that flowed from there. The ADB acts as a hub in Delhi, and spoke is each of the command headquarters, which help us in getting ideas from field to the academia and also to the industry that I mentioned. If you are looking at numbers, I think last figure was 135 areas where we wanted the technology, the industry to fill the gaps, and we found some very good responses. And we have also, in addition to that, taken up in the Ideas and Innovation competitions in the IDEX Challenge, a total of 93 industrial research and development projects. They are in various stages of development. And if you go to the ADB website, you will realize that there are a number of funding and also possible. So that's the way in which we are going. Response has been quite good. And we also make it a point to visit the premises of the manufacturers, the vendors and so on, to understand what is the level of sophistication and what we can expect them to deliver. Thank you.
Next, yeah, Mr. Yogesh.
Sir, as you mentioned that the air is on technology observation, and from past we have seen that Army constantly adopting new technology, and what is the larger aim of Army to include this, and what is the strategy, larger strategy behind this technology observation?
Okay, like I mentioned, the lesson, if we have to take major lessons from the wars that are raging in the world, that disruptive technologies come to stay. And we realize that, and we need to adopt those technologies. We are in the process of doing it. And in that, what is heartening is almost 12,000 medium, small and micro enterprises in the country, accounting for almost 30% of national GDP, are this category. And they are the ones who got a lot of energy, the youthfulness, the technological prowess. And ADB, like I mentioned, is just about 8 years old. It provides as an interface. And while I just said 8 years, I do know the figures that they are now working with a number of industries. There are 438 projects worth almost 2 lakh crores with 500 plus industries which are on. And this also includes several academic institutions. I know for sure Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, the Chennai, the one in Jammu, Roped. In all this, there's excellent talent available, and that's how the projects have been undertaken. We are looking at key areas that we would be seeking as we go ahead. It could be drone, counter-drone system, AI, robotics, looking at precision munition, loiter munition, protected mobility, both in terms of vehicles, individual protection, and communication, electronic warfare equipment. A whole lot of changes have come into these domains, and we are looking at solutions in this. Thank you.
Next question, please. Yes, Mr. Raman Saini.
हाय सर, मेरा नाम रमन सैनी है और मैं इंडिया डेली न्यूज़ चैनल से हूँ। मेरा सवाल सर जवानों की ट्रेनिंग के ऊपर है। हम सबको मालूम है कि उत्तरी कमान के पास बहुत सारे ट्रेनिंग कोर बैटल स्कूल्स जो हैं वो यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं, जहाँ पर नॉर्दर्न बॉर्डर्स पर डिप्लॉयमेंट से पहले एडवांस लेवल और क्वालिटी ट्रेनिंग जो है इन जवानों को दी जाती है। तो मैं जानना चाहता हूँ कि की फोकस एरिया जो है इन ट्रेनिंग का क्या रहता है और किस तरीके से इनकी ट्रेनिंग डिज़ाइन की जाती है ताकि आने वाले जो ये काउंटर टेररिस्ट ऑपरेशंस यहाँ पर इंसर्जेंसी के दौरान जो किए जाते हैं उसमें सहायक सिद्ध हों।
Okay, अच्छा सवाल है. It's a very good question. I'll continue answering in English. You can ask me. It's a very good question. What starts with basic training is somebody when he enters into the armed forces. Thereafter, there is training done. We classify them as collective training, annual training, and specific to terrain. What the core battle school does is once an individual is posted individually to the command or as a part of unit or subunit, we in these core battle schools orientate them to the current operational situation and also the terrain. For a simple example, a rifle which is fired, say, in the desert of Rajasthan will need to be
अगर आप बनना चाहते हैं एंकर या फिर आप में है जुनून एक तेज तर्रार न्यूज रिपोर्टर बनने का, तो आप ज्वाइन करें ITV और इंडिया NewsX का मीडिया स्कूल। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का कोर्स आपको मौका देता है देश के दिग्गज एंकर्स के साथ काम करने का। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में आप बेहद नजदीकी से देख पाएंगे किस तरह से ITV नेटवर्क के दिग्गज पत्रकारों की टीम दिन रात खबरों पर काम करती है। इस कोर्स के दौरान आप सीखेंगे एंकरिंग की एक एक बारीकी उन एंकर्स के साथ जो देश को रखते हैं हर खबर से बाखबर। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का ये कोर्स आपके एंकरिंग स्किल्स को करेगा इतना सशक्त, मजबूत, जिससे आप बनेंगे पत्रकारिता की दुनिया का वो चमकता चेहरा जो दुनिया देखेगी और पसंद करेगी।
Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet. While there is a full-blown battle over Delhi pollution between the LG and the Aam Aadmi Party government, a study from the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology in Pune says that stubble burning accounts for just 1.3% of Delhi's air pollution. Now, the fires that you see on your screen have been going on in Punjab and Haryana unabated. The satellite images from NASA too show that North India is on fire. So the big question is, of course, how has IITM calculated the share of source of pollution in air? Secondly, if only 1% pollution is due to stubble, why is the peak in winter? And how can half the pollution be from unidentified sources as per this report? And question 4, 6 years on after constant winter smog, are we still in denial? And if we are in denial, and how will we solve this perennial problem that is choking and killing the people of Delhi? We discussed this with our guest. Joining us on the show is Ambassador Bhaswati Mukherjee, former diplomat, Padma Shri, Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, chairman of Nephron Clinic. Also with us on the show, Mr. Dilip Cherian, image guru, joins us on the program as well. Last but by no means the least, Bijon Mishra, citizen activist, also with us on the program. Dr. Bagai, I'll begin with you. All right, well, this is startling to me. You as somebody who's, spoken extensively about this issue, explain this to me like I'm a 10-year-old. If this only contributes for about 1.3%, then why don't we get to see, the similar level of pollution in summer months, even when it's not raining? That's the first question that comes to my mind as an educated individual.
Good evening, Vineet. Good evening, everyone. I think this study has shown that all of us are 1-year-olds. And foolish and childlike and immature and naive. I don't think I would buy that. The fact of the matter is what we are seeing on ground as reality. Stubble burning is a significant contributor towards the North India plains pollution. It's the air wind flow, it's the velocity, and if anyone travels from here out of Delhi towards Punjab, you will see the fires in the farm burning. You don't need to be a nuclear scientist to understand that. We also know that there are in-house production of PM 2.5 to PM5, PM10, toxic gases, hydrofluorocarbons, volatile organic compounds, and a host of other very, very dangerous carcinogenic material which are emitted. It can be road dust, it can be vehicular pollution, it can be construction dust, industrial waste, open dhalaus, Yamuna frothing. All these are contributing. Now, whether it's 1, 2, 5, 10, 50 is irrelevant at the present stage, because let me tell you why the impact to be understood is more important. We are losing 2 million Indians every year directly because of air pollution. It's 18% of the total mortality. That's unacceptable. Every 10% increase of PM 2.5 is giving us 2 times, that means 200% increase in cardiopulmonary deaths. We have shown in multiple studies after studies, in Lancet, in Science Direct, in New England Journal of Medicine, in all other international and Indian journals, that this is causing effects on the heart, increase in asthma by 52%, bronchitis 24%, cancers 35 to 82%, impacting the unborn fetuses as pregnancies, newborns, bone disease, obesity, insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus, liver disease, mental health, kidneys, peripheral vascular disease, allergies, infertility. The entire pollution is anti-hormonic, viral and bacterial infections. We know that we are going to see a huge burden of non-communicable diseases in the next 4 to 5 years, and I dare say even now. The parali burning can be controlled. There is no question about it. One man's convenience cannot be 100 people's death. That's not logical. These things can be prevented. This government in Delhi has been in power for 2 terms, I think now. The fact is, most of the roads are half open, half dug up. The construction norms are not being obeyed. We only talk about pollution in October, November, December, January, but pollution is there in unacceptable levels all through the year. A normal PM 2.5, which goes down into the lower airways, cannot be more than 10 to 15 notches. In Delhi, it's clocking in between 150 to 200. The AQI on bad nights post Diwali will reach 900, 999, and then the figure can't be shown as a display. These things need to be attended to. I would really like that there should be a ministry of air pollution to combat air pollution. You need scientists, you need doctors, you need researchers to put together. You can't leave it only to the political top brass. We need to protect the lives of this generation and the next generation. Trees are being felled in Delhi. There's a Supreme Court order on it. Even in our colony, trees have been felled. These things must be stopped. Punitive punishment needs to be meted out. We cannot be hijacked. We cannot be held to ransom by these farmers. Enough has been done by them as damage. At least now let them not damage more human beings, when more human lives will be lost in Delhi NCR.
Absolutely. Ambassador Mukherjee, as children, we were taught that every problem has a solution. But, the longer the pollution problem continues to linger on in the capital city, everybody is of the belief that, whatever the solution is presented, there is a problem to it. And that's becoming a reality when it comes to the pollution menace in Delhi. I can go and buy replacements for an air purifier, but I can definitely not go and buy, a pair of lungs. This is obviously a matter which is not being taken very, very seriously by our netas. This is a matter which is not being taken seriously, by all those quarters which are responsible for, ensuring that life matters. Your right to life, your right to health is super fundamental, not even fundamental.
Yes, Vineet, well, I'm sorry that this very serious issue has become so politicized. I'll give a simple example. In December 22, and I have excellent lungs. I thought I had. I was suddenly, one day, I felt a bit breathless. I was x-rayed. I was told that I had atypical viral pneumonia, both lungs affected. I was in MAX for 2 weeks. And when I recovered and